Welcome to day 3 of the World Cup, and we start here with Peru against Denmark, two sides with two of the longest unbeaten records in international football at the moment, with with a 15-game unbeaten record for both sides. Only Spain and Belgium, respectively, with 19 and 21 games undefeated, have superior records. It's been an absence of 36 years for Peru, appearing at football's biggest carnival. They last appeared at the 1982 World Cup in Spain. For Peru, they captured the imagination in the 70s. A player, Tiafo Gubelas, was a stalwart of their team during that period. They actually knocked out Argentina at during the qualifiers for the 1970 World Cup tournament. Peru, under the Argentinian Gareca, are a blend of youth and experience. He's been in charge of the side for 3 years. He instilled the confidence that had been missing for several years. Interestingly, he had been part of the Argentina side in a 1985 qualifier that denied Peru qualification for the 1986 World Cup, and he actually scored in that tournament, so that put paid to Peru's hopes. I mean, Peru overcame a very poor start to take their place at this tournament. I think after 7 games they only had 4 points, and after 13 games they were in 8th position in the 10-team group. So it was just a late charge at the end that enabled them to make this tournament in Russia. They actually achieved historic results with away victories in Paraguay and Ecuador. Their last defeat was in November 2016, 2-0 in Brazil. And they clinched 5th spot with a 1-1 last day draw against Colombia, and they won it. I mean, they proceeded to this tournament with a two-legged victory over New Zealand in the playoff. In terms of Peru will definitely be the best support. It seems like that Peru will be one of the best supported sides in Russia. It's estimated that they'll have about 45 to 50,000 fans attending, mostly without tickets. Many without tickets. They were just so pleased to have this opportunity to travel. To this momentous occasion. Interestingly, in regards to their backbone, it seemingly was their defence that really helped. But interestingly, they'd only kept like 2 clean sheets in about 18 games, like 10 goals. They were very susceptible to set pieces, and their top player Guerrero was cleared to appear at this tournament. He had been banned for 6 months for a doping offence, but he was cleared to play, and he was their all-time top goal scorer. And so that was a big boost for the team. For Denmark, they were appearing in their 5th tournament. The best appearance, their best performance was a 1998 quarter-final appearance at the World Cup, and when they lost 3-2 to Brazil. They were they performed very well at this tournament. But their greatest side ever was the 1986 Lerby, Laudrup, Mulby and Arneson famed team, but they were just dynamic. They haven't reached those heights for many years, despite, they did win the European Championship in 1986. Modern day Denmark, a powerful, organised and direct, and good defensively, conceded 9 goals in the qualifiers. Only 3 players have survived from their campaign in 2010. They are managed by the Norwegian Ege Hareide, who played in the English league for several seasons back in the 80s. So they proceeded to this tournament, finishing second, 5 points behind Poland. In fact, they trounced the Poles 4-0, in which was their best result during the qualifying campaign. They found themselves in a playoff against the Republic of Ireland. A 0-0 draw at home didn't seem nearly enough for them to progress, but a stunning performance in the second leg, in which they, despite falling a goal behind, smashed the Republic of Ireland by 5-1. Christian Eriksen sublimely scoring an hat-trick. Interestingly, the reliance on Eriksen is great, as well as like young Schmeichel in goal. Well, Kasper Schmeichel in goal. Eriksen scored 11 goals during the qualifiers. Including the hat-trick at the end. And Schmeichel hasn't been beaten for 470 minutes. He'll break the record set by his father, who also appeared at the World Cup in '98. I think the record was 1995. His father kept. Yeah, so it was going to be it was going to be very competitive and contested, and it was surprisingly there was only both sets of, so many, the fans were like 700. Surprisingly, there would only be 700 Danish fans at this tournament, and when you can consider it being in Europe and the amount of Peruvians that came here, it's quite astonishing. But going to the match, Peru made a very bright start. They were dominating the early moments of the game. Possession, it was an open field to the game. Schmeichel brought into the action very early from Joften's drive. Denmark were finding themselves overrun. Plenty of pace shown by Peru, moving the ball well, and Corolla again forced Schmeichel into an early save, a low save with a left-footed drive. It pretty much continued. The counter-attacking Peruvians were being first to the ball. They're looking to drive forward. Denmark eventually slowly settled, and Delaney had a left-footed drive, a long drive that flew over Farfan, playing behind this, trying to play behind, playing by the shoulder, almost got in, but his attempt was blocked with a fine, timely challenge. A blow for the Danes just over 30 minutes into the match, when Vist was forced stretchered away with a rib injury. The spark lost. Peru lacking the true quality to really make a difference. But yeah, Danes did once again look threatening as half came to its close. But yeah, Eriksen wasn't really involved. Their best player most effective players looked to be like Sisto, and then bang, on 43 minutes, 43,000 Peruvians screamed for a penalty, and it was a clear penalty. VAR, the Gambian official, used VAR just to confirm, but 30 million Peruvians were in no doubt that it was a penalty. But unfortunately, whoever blasted the effort woefully over the bar, and just leaving the Peruvian fans stunned into silence. It was a lively start to the second half. It was much more encouraging for the Danes, but it didn't really materialise, and Peru were kind of not as effective as they had been throughout most of the first half. And then Peru get caught, and Denmark breaks swiftly. Eriksen plays the fine ball, and Poulsen gives a crisp finish in the near post, and Denmark are in front. So Peru have it all to do, and Schmeichel was brought straight back into the action as Peru almost equalised immediately. A fantastic left-handed save, and then in order to save it, Peru bring on their star man Guerrero, and immediately he sends an header, heads the ball straight into the grasp of Schmeichel. Farfan and Carrillo were inches away from a connection from the ball that flashed across the goal. Paulson was then on the line to deny an equaliser on the line. It was quite a and then Guerrero just somehow almost backheeled us of an exquisite equaliser, but it just bubbled past the post. And yeah, so they were it was all Peru now. There was Avicula at the other end. Avicula was on the line to deny the Danes a second, and then there's Farfan again. He had a shot blocked when he perhaps could have done better. It was his last action of the game. They were being relentless. It was all Peru now, and Denmark would just ran time out, and they were content just to see the game out. And they continued to commit men forward, and then there was 70. Yeah, but that was it, and it just didn't happen in the end. So Peru was 17 shot attempts, 6 on target. Just were very unfortunate to lose this game, but there's hope. And yeah, they were a side that they were just on the front foot all throughout all the game. They were just, all they lacked was a clear, real quality and the real cutting edge. But yeah, they should be proud of their first performance at the tournament for 36 years, and they definitely have something to aspire to hope, and they will definitely be given hope from the way they played their free-flowing football. They were expressive and very relentless. Denmark have it in their own hands, and they can definitely progress from this group. Thank you.